Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist. In this video I'd like to talk about precious metals, gold, silver, specifically about the difference between the numismatic value and the intrinsic value of the different coin that you're talking about. Now, this comes up because I was talking recently with my friend Matt Bracken. We were doing these live streams. Check it out. It's Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And he mentioned about a lot of people in the prepper survival community that bought numismatic gold and got kind of tricked out of their money due to that. I think it's a very interesting topic and it's worth talking about a little bit more. This video is likely going to be a bit longer than most. And easy answer, simple. If you don't have the time, keep it simple and just buy precious metals by its intrinsic value. You just buy gold, you just buy silver, just keep it simple and just buy the metal. Now, having said that, there's a few things that you should still know. Yes, I insist, if you're going to be doing this so as a way of preserving some of your savings from inflation, from hyperinflation, when this stuff loses completely its value, then you want to have precious metals and you want to buy not numismatic coins, but coins, bullions, or coins due to its metal content, due to the content of its precious metal in it. And yes, you're going to be paying a premium. Let's suppose the ounce of silver right now is like 26 bucks. You're not going to be buying any coin for 26 bucks. You're not going to be buying an ounce of silver for 26 bucks. You're going to be paying a little bit of a premium over that. So maybe 28, 29, whatever it is, but you want to get to as close to that as possible. Now, then you have bullion that it's emitted by an official institution, a government. You have your silver eagles would be the best, most simple way to go, would be buying silver eagles. You can go with rounds, which is basically silver made by private entities. For example, these are buccaneer, pirate type of coins. These are 2 ounces of silver, but it's not being backed by any governments specifically, like it's the case of the silver eagle that's backed by the US government. In this case, it's just the brand, the company making these, and that may rub a little bit wrong with some people. Usually, you will find out that anything that's more recognizable by an accepted institution is more readily accepted at face value, given the amount of silver or gold that you have in it. So if I have a little 1/10 of an ounce of gold, yes, it's a gold eagle, perfect. That is something people understand, know, and trust. And probably they handle it before and they can tell with a little bit of knowledge and experience if it's a real deal or not. They're kind of used to it. Anything that you're not used to it, you're going to be doubting. Is this the real thing? Is this actual some other metal mixed in there? So that's something to keep in mind. Buy the metal. Don't buy the collector's value, but try to stick to metal that is well recognized and accepted. A gold sovereign, for example, that's something that people will know as well, and it's going to be easier for you to sell at a much more better value, closer to a spot price. If you're selling in a hurry, you're going to be getting ripped off, no doubt. If you just go with a silver eagle or gold eagle to a pawn shop, you're going to be getting maybe half of its true value, maybe a little bit more or less, depending on how lucky and how honest that dealer is. But you're usually going to be taking a hit in one way or another. Now, having said that, I feel very strongly about precious metals because I've gone through this myself, as some of you that have been in my channel for a while know. And I'll tell you, just as to put things in context, right now we're seeing that price of gold and silver is going through the roof. Ounce of gold is over 2,000 bucks. Silver, I think, is like 26, almost 30 recently. But this is what happens when currencies start shaking, when economies are not doing all that well, and people lose trust on this sort of thing, which is basically just paper, and they find refuge in precious metals. Back in the day, when I was just getting married, my wife, every once in a while, like for birthdays or Christmas or whatever, what do I get you? Just buy me a silver eagle. I'm happy with that. And she would go and buy me one of these for, like a little present for an anniversary or whatever. So as time goes by, you end up accumulating a few of these. Now, I also had these saved away, and these days I mostly keep this as a reminder of, you know, things past and such. These are worth, like, I don't know, like the peso. This is 50 pesos. Right now, $1 is 150 pesos. So yeah, that's the way it is. Now, back in the day, with 4 of these, you would buy one of these. With 150 pesos, back in the day, even when the dollar was, when silver was expensive, it got to a point where it was $40, $40 each ounce of silver, if you remember back after 2008. But even then, you would just go with, I don't know, 150, 200 pesos, and you would buy one of these. Now, this is worthless. This has no value whatsoever. Pretty much junk just for starting a fire. This is still an ounce of silver. In fact, it has gone up in price. And in fact, I want to talk about that second point, in which even though you should stick to the intrinsic value of your coins and just buy the precious metal, you should still know the basics of numismatics. Because, again, it's not all that simple. I could talk about hours. I spent years learning and, you know, making mistakes and that sort of thing. Now, keep in mind this. These are a couple of denarius coins from Roman times, 2,000 years old. About $1.50 worth of silver. Would I sell these for $1.50? No, because that's stupid. These coins have a lot more value from a numismatic point. If I put these on eBay, or even if I walk just into any average, you know, coin collecting shop or whatever, I'm going to be getting more money because these have a lot more numismatic value. And that's where you should learn at least the basics, even if you trade or just buy modern coins like this. Even with modern new coins like these, it's not all the same. You may be thinking, oh, that's just a silver eagle. No, 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 no. It's a 1996 silver eagle. That's the year in which the least amount of silver eagles were made. In this condition, this coin was about $80, $100, give or take, because of its scarcity, because the numismatic value that it has is a lot greater than the intrinsic value that it has. So even if I really don't care all that much about it, I would still be a fool if I miss out on like $50 and just sell it for 20, 30 or whatever, just because I couldn't be bothered with learning the real value of this in the market. If I just put this on eBay and I put it on auction, it's going to be selling closer to that. I'm not going to be getting like $26 over it. It's going to be closer to $80, $100. So, having said that, it is important for you, even if you deal with junk silver of any kind, these are all junk silver coins, right? You should still know there's always something that you probably are missing. I have this bag which is full of mercury dimes and quarters, right? Your typical mercury dime, what is it, like $1.50 worth of silver? Sure, if I put it on eBay, it's probably going to be getting $2, $3 because that's the numismatic value of a nice little silver mercury dime like this one. So why sell it for its weight in silver when you can sell it for a lot more if you know its true value? Now, if you are dealing mostly with people that are like-minded and you just have, you know, junk silver, I have my Kennedy half, 1964, there's a billion of these made, and mostly these that have been circulated, these just would be considered like your junk silver. It's mostly about its intrinsic value given the metal content rather than the numismatic value. Still, even within the 1964, for those of you that know, right after Kennedy was assassinated, these were rushed into production, and the first ones being produced were a little bit different. They have the hair was a little bit more rough, and there's a little difference there in the tiny little G somewhere there. Basically, it was a slightly different coin, and you'll only see the difference mostly using a glass, but Jacqueline Kennedy, his wife, didn't like how his hair looked and asked that to be changed, and those would be was something hair Kennedys. So those first Kennedys have a lot more value than your typical 1964 Kennedy silver $half. So if you know that difference, you are not losing out on that added value. Even with your mercury dimes, you have that difference as well. So basic thing that any prepper, any survivalist should know regarding numismatics, even if you're not going to be buying them, is how to tell what's worth and what's not. You're going to be looking at basically four things. Of course, the type of coin. Is it a Morgan? Is it a silver dollar? Is it a peace dollar? Whatever it is, you're going to be looking at the year. You're going to be looking at the mint. Where was this made? It's not the same thing. A 1916 Mercury dime can be worth several $1,000s, or it can be worth just a couple bucks, depending on the mint. If it has a little D there, then it's going to be worth a lot more money than if that D is missing, like it's in this case. Keep in mind, there's also fakes floating around. So again, if that's not your thing, don't start buying numismatics. Just buy coins for its metal content. But finally, the most important thing you should keep in mind is condition. And this is where a lot of people feel tricked, feel that they've been lied to, because they don't understand how numismatics work. It's about the coin. What type of coin is it? Morgan, peace dollar, whatever. Year, mint, and finally, key is condition. How well that coin has been preserved. And unless you're an expert, you're not going to be knowing exactly what you're talking about, and you're not going to be knowing how to grade a coin if it's in very good condition, if it's in fine condition, if it's in poor, as if it's in uncirculated, if it's in mint state, or if it's in mint state 69. You know, those differences, the average person will not be able to tell. I give you an example here right now. So I have a Morgan dollar, 1881. This is PCGSS rated MS64. I bought this on eBay for like $25 back in the day. Someone that just wanted to get rid of the coin and was selling it for its intrinsic value, for the metal content. Now, these are fairly popular. It's packed full of these, so this is not rare by any means. But man, it's already cased and it's been graded, and that has additional value. That's not cheap. And you have a coin. It's not the same thing to have a coin in this type of condition, you know, fairly worn, than in mint state 64. It's not the same thing. This will have a numismatic value that if I want to sell it, I'm going to be getting a few more bucks for this rather than this. It would be stupid for me to just break this off and just trade it like junk silver when it's in this kind of condition. Condition is key. This same coin, as it is, it's worth maybe like metal content, $1.50. Numismatic value, $2-3. This same coin in mint state 69 condition is worth maybe $4,000 for a collector. It's not the case, but it's important to understand that the slightest difference, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of difference. So these two would be mint state coins. This is a Morgan and this is a modern silver dollar, right? What's the difference between an MS mint state 64 and a mint state 69? You will likely not be able to tell. I barely can tell you that I know that yes, this would be a higher grade. Mint state is already as good as it's going to be getting, but why is that 69? Well, because it's slight differences, like how well it was, you know, made, and the press and the molds that was being used, you know, the negative metals that's going to be hammering and with pressure forming the coin, how clean cut those are going to be when the coin is made. For example, this is first strike coin. That means that these are some of the first coins being made when the press is going down and all that pressure is going. That those molds used to make these coins will degrade as more coins are being made. So with the original, man, the word just, what is it, like the shape, the metal shape that just pushes and presses these? Well, as coins start being made, the first 100 coins will be more of a clean cut than the coin number 1,000, for example, because the molds cast, oh God, what's the name? So those start wearing out and they start cutting with less precision. So if you start looking at it with a magnifying glass, you will see that a coin that is like this one, considered first strike, this is going to be a lot cleaner and a lot sharper on those edges than the coin made with that same mold, like coin number 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever. At the same time, if that mold breaks and there's a line across that coin, that is worth a ton of money as well, because it's highly regarded by collectors. So it's important to understand that condition is key. Condition is essential, and it was going to be dictating if a coin is worth $100 or 10,000 bucks. It's all about the condition in which your coin is. So final piece of advice, don't ever clean a coin. Coins are never cleaned. No matter how old it looks, no matter how dirty it looks, you never clean a coin. Just don't do it. Just cut off your fingers before doing anything like that, because the only thing you're going to be doing is take away value because, you cleaned that, right? Yeah, I did. Look how shiny it is. No, you're an idiot. You lost thousands of dollars in a coin that, if left untouched, would have been perfectly valuable. That doesn't mean that certain coins do have, there is such a thing as numismatic value of a coin. For example, in my little journey in numismatics and coin collecting, this would be a good example of it. This is an 1878 Morgan dollar Carson City Mint, right? It's in very nice shape, it's in very clean shape, and I would guess that at the very least, about uncirculated 650, give or take. I don't know, you guys are coin experts, let me know your opinion. Let me make that as good as possible. So 50, 55, would you say that's kind of accurate? Right? And you still have some of that reflection that you have from that cartwheel effect from coins. So this one would be a coin that is, at the very least, 300 bucks, give or take. Sure, it is. And if you have to sell it in a hurry, it may be like 200 bucks. But that's a problem with numismatics. The problem with numismatics is that there's a very slight difference, and it's going to be taking out a lot of value from that coin if you misjudge it just by a little bit, which is more often the case than you having a coin and thinking, oh, this is crap, this is about uncirculated and it's mint stage 69. No, that rarely ever happens. It's just really not common, not at all. It's rather more common the other way around. Oh, but this one is about brand new. This is mint state. No, that's actually an XF or very good, or people that think they have a very good coin and it's actually poor. Oh, but look how nice it looks. Yeah, but when you go about it in the way experts go, it's not graded in that way. It will not be graded as high as you thought it was. So because of this grading thing, that's why a lot of people end up feeling they're tricked, and they bought a coin that, yeah, this, I bought a bunch of 1878 Carson City silver dollars and paid 300 bucks for it, and then when you go sell it, you're not going to be getting more than 200 or 100 for it. Or even worse, you're going to be going with another survivalist, and he's going to be saying, oh, yeah, Morgan dollar, yeah, that's not even an ounce, right? Okay, yeah, 20 bucks. And you'll just want to die because you spent a lot more of that because of that, because you paid for its numismatic value than rather the intrinsic value. That doesn't mean that maybe the coin isn't actually worth what you think it was. This one, if I go take my time, find a coin dealer, or I put it online with enough time so as to get a good auction on it, maybe I'm going to be getting closer to what this is really worth. But again, finally wrapping things up, you need to know the difference of a numismatic value and the intrinsic value. You want to stick to intrinsic value, just buy gold and silver. And having said that, you still want to have the basic knowledge that I just explained here, so as to identify that, okay, I got a bag of junk silver. Oh yeah, wait a minute, 1916 D or some other key date or rare mintage. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to be putting that in the bag with all the junk silver. I'm going to be keeping that separate because it's a lot more valuable. And this goes also for some of these modern coins. If you look at it and you see this one as a 1996, it is not the same as if the average guy looks at these and he's going to be saying, okay, both of these are silver dollars, both of these are just an ounce of silver. Sure, but this one is a mint stage 69 and it's come in a nice graded little plastic case. Yeah, but this, according to PCGS themselves, this is like a $30 coin, 35, probably a little bit more because it's, you know, like graded and such. But this one, because of how rare this mintage is, because it's the one that was the least number of coins minted, 1996, this is gonna be an $80 coin, maybe a $100 coin, and you should know the difference. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little video, learned something. See you on our next video. Subscribe to the channel. Remember that my books are available following the links below. Remember our stream with Matt Bracking this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Have an awesome day.